CBS News has learned that U.S. intelligence believes Iran is preparing a major attack in retaliation for Monday's airstrike by Israel on the Iranian consulate in Damascus.
The U.S. and Israel braced for a retaliatory attack.
Now, the U.S. has warned Iran in writing not to attack U.S. personnel and facilities.
Well, Iran has vowed to hold the U.S. as well as Israel accountable.
Breaking news coming out in the last 24 hours that the U.S. is preparing for significant Iran attack on U.S. or Israeli assets in the region as soon as next week. And you can take a look at the photos coming out from Iran at this time. The U.S. on high alert for Iran threat in region after Israeli strike in Syria. And Middle East crisis. Iran says the enemy will regret strike on Damascus. U.S. on high alert for attacks in Tehran. And I'm going to be sharing with you the latest video footage as this is in a response to what unfolded in Damascus. The United States is on high alert and preparing for a possible attack by Iran targeting Israeli and American assets in the region in response to Israel's strike on the Iranian embassy in Syria, U.S. officials said on Friday. We're definitely at a high state of vigilance, said the officials, confirming a CNN report that said an attack could come in the next week. Suspected Israeli warplanes bombed Iran's embassy in Damascus on Monday in a strike that ended the life of an Iranian military commander and marked a major escalation in Israel's war with the region's allies.
First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and highest honors to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushua, B'Shem Rav Yahweh being the Heavenly Father's name in Paleo-Ancient Hebrew, and Yahweh Shai, the name of the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ in Paleo-Ancient Hebrew. Double honors to the apostle elders, the great millstone and rule well, and salutations to you brothers that preach, teach, and prophesy this word in truth and sincerity. We put our lives on the line in these last days to bring you this raw and this uncut truth. It's the brother Ariaga from the Grand Rapids, Michigan camp, here with another nifty lesson as the sun is going down. All right, and this one will be concerning this Third World War and the things that are as the sun is starting to go down on this kingdom. Okay, the same way you see that sun going down, it's the same way the Most High has the sun going down on his kingdom. Today was the solar eclipse. Here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, it got real dark, you know. I didn't know we were going to be in the path of it like that. We just came outside and it was dark as hell. I was outside when it was light. Went in the house, went in the brother's house, came back out. We came out to go to the store and it was dark. Looked like you had a pair of some dark sunglasses on, man. You know, so that was a prophecy of the sign of the times to come. And this is all on the verge of, as you see, what's taking place over in the Red Sea as that's becoming a heavy conflict zone. All right. So recently, a week ago, you had Russia enter into the Red Sea, the Suez Canal is what they said. That's also the area where Moses split the Red Sea at. And children of Israel walked across the Suez Canal in the Red Sea on dry land, okay? And there's a big significance right now with that area as you see, you know, these different warships, you know, build up in there. You seen these ships being attacked by Yemen, all right, if they're America, Britain, or any part of the NATO EU union. And you know, you also have the Gerald R. Ford over there and a couple of other American warships. So this is a very heavy conflict zone right now. So one of the things that we do take note to is that after this eclipse, it was across the United States, it was a big X, okay? Or basically the path of it in the last path, you know, of the last eclipse, it was 2007, I believe. It made an X. It basically, the path made that after this one, it formed a large X on the United States. All right, this place is marked for destruction, according to prophecy. All right, and this Third World War is really about to kick off. So let me go ahead and play this real quick, and we're gonna get to it, the scriptures.
Russian warships from the Pacific Fleet have entered into the Red Sea, and this comes amidst attacks by Yemen's Houthis on merchant shipping. in a region that is already crowded with naval vessels. The Russian Navy's Pacific Fleet has said that the Russian cruiser Varyag and also the frigate Marshal Shaposhnikov are taking part in the voyage. The two warships have in fact passed the Bab el-Mandeb Strait into the Red Sea. And this move has forced many ship owners and operators to suspend the Suez Canal or the Red Sea route for transporting goods from Europe to Asia and vice versa. The Russian news agency TASS has reported that the Russian ships were carrying out assigned tasks within the framework of the long-range sea campaigns. The ultimate destination of the ships at this moment is unclear.
Right, this sea campaign that's going on right now is now that, Russia has entered into the Red Sea. The campaign is basically to stop what is taking place in the Palestinian or the Arab world. Okay, that's current campaign that they are embarking on. Let's continue.
From the report, as was the reason as to why Russia sent these vessels to the area. So the Houthis have been targeting vessels that predominantly belong to the Israelis, the Americans, and the Brits from passing through the Red Sea corridor in solidarity with the Palestinians who are facing the brunt of the Israeli onslaught in the Gaza Strip. According to reports, the group has told China and Russia earlier in the month that the Chinese and the Russian ships will not be targeted by the Houthis and they can sail through the Red Sea corridor and the Gulf of Aden without being attacked. And this was in exchange for the two countries providing political support to the Houthis in bodies such as the United Nations. However, the US Central Command has reported about the Houthis firing a missile at the Chinese-owned oil tanker Huangpu. The CENTCOM has also highlighted the continued risks to shipping in the seas off the coast of Yemen despite the agreement. Now, this has come after Iran, Russia and China had held joint naval exercises in the Indian Ocean region earlier in the month. Both the Varyag and Marshal Shaposhnikov took part in the drills, which Russia said were in fact meant to practice safety in maritime economic activities. The Iran-backed Houthis have been attacking ships in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden since November. They're calling their campaign to be in solidarity with the Palestinians in this bruising Israeli onslaught on the Gaza Strip in which over 32,000 Palestinians are being killed. The months of Houthi attacks in the Red Sea have disrupted international shipping, and it has also forced many shipping firms to reroute through the longer and the more expensive journeys from around the Cape of Good Hope in southern Africa. For all the latest news, download the View On app.
All right, so that's what you see is going on right now. So those Russian warships are passing through there because they are moving in to basically guard their investment or their allies, so to speak. Okay. So this is Jeremiah 49, starting at 14. It says, "I have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, Gather ye together and come against her, and rise up to the battle. It says, For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men." Right? Because the Heavenly Father has set it up for this nation that these devils are despised among men. Okay? This shit is getting real over there. And the stuff that they're doing, they try to justify it by scriptures when those scriptures don't apply to them because they are not the chosen people. It says, "Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rocks, that holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith Yahweh." All right, and that's what you see going on right now. The Most High is bringing this place down brick by brick, piece by piece, gradually. Okay, and all of these things that are happening, those individuals that are over there now, the Israelis that are over there now, are really, known as Amalek, right? According to the Bible. And so that is Edom, part of Edom. Those are part of the children of Edom, Amalek is. All right, it says, therefore, hear the 20th verse, Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he has taken against Edom, and his purpose that he has proposed against the inhabitants of Teman, which is the chief city of Edom, Surely the least of thy flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their inhabitants desolate with them. All right, and what you have now says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Draw who? They drawing out the nations, and one of the major powerful nations that they're drawing out is Russia. All right, because they're committing these atrocities because they know they have but a short time, and so they threw concern to the wind, and they're going head first, and that's drawing Russia. They tried to keep them tied up in Ukraine, but now that they're polishing off the rest of the Ukrainians, you have EU, NATO Union sent troops over to Ukraine, and now they just landed in Ukraine, and as Russia sent half their forces over here to deal with to help the Arab nations, man, because they are part of the BRICS nations, okay, which is Brazil, India, Russia, China, the what is it? The Emirates, I believe, the Arab Emirates, and I think Arabia. Yeah, Arabia is supposed to join. You know, so right now all these sides are chosen for this last world war. So the earth is moved at the noise of their fall, and the cry of their noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea, right? Because the Lord is going to bring a massive battle in the Red Sea. That is a very powerful place, and the final battle is going to happen, take place in the Red Sea, and in Israel. Israel is going to be hit by thermonuclear missiles, man, and so is America and different parts of Russia and certain other nations, but primarily America is going to get hit and wiped out, and so is Israel. It's going to be burnt by fire according to the prophecies, man. And so we see this Red Sea situation really heating up now that America, or now that Russia is on the scene, okay? But nonetheless, it says, behold, he shall come up and fly as an eagle and spread his wings over Basra. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of women in her pangs, right? Because what's going to take place is the Most High is going to, you know, in that time, when you see, you know, the Lord coming back and the chariots of the Lord filling the skies, man, the Most High is going to look like Independence Day, man. Okay? It sounds crazy, it sounds messed up, but you think they get these ideas, you know, from the back of their minds for these movies, and it really comes from the biblical scriptures. It says, concerning Damascus, Hamath is confounded, and Arpad, for they have heard evil tidings. They are faint-hearted. There is sorrow on the sea. It cannot be quiet. And if you see what's happening right now, even Damascus and Syria and these places, they just bombed Syria. And if you see what happened with Iran, they bombed Iran, or an embassy, and killed some major Iranian generals, right? Matter of fact, no, this is pretty low. I'm going to end up probably having to turn this part up in post-production because it's low as hell. But let's go ahead and play it because you still read it, right?
Oil prices are skyrocketing after Israel made a huge miscalculation that will cause the entire Middle East to go to war against them. Israel's mistake was so bad that even the United States had to come out and publicly say that they had absolutely no involvement in Israel's actions. Then the United Nations condemned Israel for what they did, as their actions has escalated tensions in the region and will likely cause multiple other countries to retaliate. Oil prices spiked up to 6 months highs following the events in anticipation of an all-out war because Iran is considering retaliating against Israel. They're a major military power in the region who is allied with Lebanon, Syria, and Yemen. And up until now, they've actually declined to officially declare war against Israel.
Yeah, remember, Damascus is in Syria.
However, Israel's recent actions have changed everything, and Iran now says that Israel will be punished. What Israel did to make everyone so mad is that they launched a major strike on an Iranian embassy, killing multiple high-ranking Iranian military and intelligence officers.
Right, so they messed up, you know, and they really, that was an act of war by attacking
allied with Lebanon, Syria,
Iran's
and Yemen.
naval, their officers, man.
So Iranian senior commanders are now going into what's called doomsday bunkers. They're hiding out. The military is at the highest possible level of readiness as of this morning. Now, we still don't know if Iran will attack Israel directly or it will attack one of the embassies. My best guess is that it will attack it directly because Israel has already evacuated most of the embassy that it has. The U.S. has also confirmed that Iran will retaliate against Israel, telling CBS News this morning. Iran has also said that it will not attack the U.S. if it steps aside. However, the U.S. is trying to drag itself into another war, and Israel is also trying to drag the U.S. into another war. I honestly don't see.
Right, and the reason they're drawing them into another war is because war is a racket. It's an enterprise, especially for the U.S. It's always been a way to generate a vast amount of money. Why? By taking another nation's resources, man. All right, the spoils of war. Okay?
Any way that the U.S. wouldn't just go in. The U.S. always wants to go in, always wants another fight, so this could potentially break out into something bigger than the Middle East. Reports have said that the attacks will come either this weekend or at the end of Ramadan. Stay safe out there, everybody.
Right, so at the end of Ramadan, they're ready to get it popping. Just like, you know, this eclipse on this day is a sign of the destruction to come. Okay? People think it's beautiful and it's pretty and it's just something to behold. It has a significant sign. Okay? It says Damascus is waxed feeble and turned herself to flee, and fear hath seized her. Anguish and sorrow have taken her as a woman in travail. How is the city of praise not left the city of joy? So nonetheless, what you see right now going on, especially with Damascus, is a lot of judgment. But now the Heavenly Father has Russia moving in to address the issue because this Third World War is kicking up dust. All right. This is Ezekiel 38:1. It says, "In the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog," right? And Gog is present day Russia. Okay? And it says the chief prince. That's what Gog means. Magog. It means the chief prince. All Russia. Ra'ash Shar in Hebrew. Ra'ash is head and Shar is prince. All right. So Ra'ash Shar are today known as Russia. It says the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal and prophesy against him. It says, and say, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And that's what's taking place right now. That's why they're entering into that Suez Canal. Persia, Ethiopia. You saw Libya on there on that video I just showed as being one of the nations that are basically teaming up, you know, with the BRICS nations. It says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with their shields and helmets, right? And what are you doing? You're getting ready for war. Gomer and all his bands in the house of Togarmah and the north quarters, all of his bands and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that assemble unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So that's why you see that happening now, that Third World War about to pop off, because they're being a guard onto these Arab nations. All right, and then let's get to And now that's why you see Yemen, they're over there, they're like, hey, they was some of the first ones, them and Iran. These were the nations, the first nations, the basically in Turkey, to say something about this situation, you know? And they went forth to make something happen. And upon making something happen, this is escalating to the final conflict, or as it's known, Yahweh Shaphat, the Most High Judgment, all right? Armageddon, which is the mountain of troops in translation. All these different troops of different nations are mounting up here in the Red Sea. It says, behold, the terrible, 2nd Ezra 15-28, behold the vision and the appearance thereof from the east, all right? You see that in the eastern world, over in the Middle East, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots. All right, and the word Arabia just means mixed, okay? And all those Ishmaelites, they're Arabs. All of them can be, they have different, they call them Palestinians and Jordanians and all of them are really just Arab. They're part of the Arab nation. They're brothers. That's why they mixed. They're together, right? Ishmael. It says, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth. And all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Why? Because when all of these nations finally get brought up together, it's going to be a fearful battle. See, America and the NATO and EU Union, they're threatened by this. They're like, hey, man, because they already know the military superiority that Russia maintains so far as their nuclear arsenal. And China is right behind it, especially with those supersonic missiles and, the hypersonic missiles. Also, the Carmenians raging in wrath, and the Carmenians is basically the Arabs. All right, raging in wrath shall go forth as wild boars of the woods, and with great power they shall come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Right? And so, let me look that up real quick. Carmenians. Let me look that up real quick. Hold on. All right, so my bad. Excuse me. I'll make that correction. Carmenians. The Carmenia may refer to Carmenia, an ancient satrapy of the Archaemenid Persian Empire. And the Persians are Elam, are connected to who they would consider Indians, East Indians. East India, like India. All right. So there's a difference between Elam and Ishmael. Okay, the Arabs are Ishmael. So I said that's why the Carmenians, like you say, shall come raging in. Right there it says also the Carmenians raging in wrath. So the Persians, they are Iran. Remember that attack that they just did on Iran, pissed Iran off and said they're going to retaliate. Also the Carmenians, so that's Iran, raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the woods, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Right? And those Assyrians, Assyria is a big ass, or Syria itself is a big ass battlefield, man. All right, that's why it's been cleared out years ago, and they had that whole refugee thing because they started bombing the shit out of Damascus. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand. So they're going to get the upper hand. Why? Because they're going to have Russia as a shield. It says, remembering their nature, and they shall, and if they shall turn themselves conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled, bled, and keep silent through their power, and shall flee. So it's going to be a major battle that takes place, and it's going to make them regret taking up this battle, because the Heavenly Father is going to start giving a victory over unto these other nations. This is all before, while the Lord is on his way back. All right? Let's see. It says, and from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them, and in their host shall be fear, dread, and strife among their kings. So it's gonna be chaos over there, man. Behold, the clouds from the east and the north onto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. And they shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, and their own star, and the blood shall be from the sword unto the belly. And that's these thermonuclear missiles. So that's gonna hit different places, but primarily here in the West, you know. So it's gonna be all out war at this point, man. Okay. So what we're seeing right now is the beginning of the end. We've been seeing that, but this is to a whole nother scale. Do you understand? Also, NATO has just accepted Ukraine as what's the word I'm looking for? As an ally. They've accepted Ukraine to basically come in and be a part of NATO now. Now check this out. This is the last one. Check this out. Alright, so check this out. Alright, so this shit right here is crazy because it says Russia shocked 30,000 troops and combat equipment from 27 NATO allied countries arrived in Ukraine. So look at that, man. They're coming out, man. Hey, it's about to get started, man. This is part of those hooks being drawn into the jaws of Russia because, one, they got the enemy at their doorstep, and two, they're going to be a shield onto these other nations, man. So anyway, man, just pay close attention because this Third World War just went to a whole nother level, all right? And it's about to get hot. But before this fully pops off, remember the mark of the beast, that RFID is going to be coming soon, that chip in the hand, the right hand or the head, all right? That's the mark. So with that, you know what I'm saying, stay circumspect, all right? Going to keep track of this, give you an update to the next time. Big Shalom.